Nostradamus, the renowned French prophet of the 16th century, gained widespread recognition for his mysterious quartets, crafted in a cryptic style that blends various languages and symbolism. People have interpreted these quartets as predictions of a wide range of future events. Among his many prophecies, one of the most outstanding and apparently accurate is the one that foretold a devastating earthquake in Japan. According to the text, Nostradamus had predicted a major earthquake that would affect Japan's coast. This prediction materialized on January 1, 2024, when a powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake shook Isawa, Japan. This earthquake resulted in the tragic loss of 55 lives and caused considerable damage to local infrastructure. The accuracy of this prediction not only surprised the scientific community and the prophecy's scholars, but it also caught the attention of the general public. The impact of this precise prediction has revitalized global interest in Nostradamus's prophecies. Many wonder how a man who lived more than 450 years ago could so accurately predict such specific and distant events in the future. This apparent ability of Nostradamus to see the future has led to a resurgence in the study and interpretation of his writings, with researchers and enthusiasts trying to decipher his mysterious quartets to uncover other possible predictions about contemporary and future events. The renewed interest in Nostradamus has spread beyond esoteric and academic circles, reaching the general public through the media, books and documentaries that explore his prophecies. The Japan earthquake prediction is just one example of how Nostradamus's visions continue to fascinate and provoke debate about the nature of his prophetic abilities and the relevance of his writings in the modern world. In addition to natural disasters, Nostradamus also predicted the rise of important leaders who have shaped world history. Her quartets not only address natural phenomena, but also offer insights into political figures that would have a significant impact on the course of global events. A prominent example of these predictions is the appearance of a young charismatic leader who, from humble origins, would ascend to command a powerful army. Many have interpreted this description as a reference to Adolf Hitler. Nostradamus, in his enigmatic verses, describes this leader as having an extraordinary ability to influence and convince the masses, a talent that Hitler demonstrated with his oratory and his ability to mobilize millions of Germans behind his ideology and political ambitions. Nostradamus's prediction of a poor young man becoming a military leader coincides with Hitler's biography, who, after a youth marked by poverty and uncertainty, managed to rise into the Nazi Party and eventually became the Führer of Germany. According to Nostradamus's prophecies, this leader would not only possess a remarkable ability to attract followers, but would also lead his nation to a series of devastating war events. Hitler, in fact, triggered World War II, a conflict that radically transformed world geopolitics and caused mass destruction. The accuracy with which Nostradamus seems to have described Hitler's figure has generated deep interest in his writings, and many scholars and prophecy enthusiasts continue to analyze his quartets in search of other historical parallels and possible future predictions. This fascination is due in part to Nostradamus's apparent ability to capture details about characters and events that would mark the story, suggesting an extraordinary understanding of the future. Predictions about leaders like Hitler have not only spurred historical studies of Nostradamus's prophecies, but they have also fueled debates about the nature of his prophetic vision and its continuing relevance in the analysis of contemporary and future events. Hitler's figure, in particular, has become a symbol of how Nostradamus's prophecies can resonate with real events, strengthening the perception that his quartets contain hidden truths about the fate of humanity. Dolores, a prominent author and researcher in the field of hypnotherapy and regression to past lives, made critical contributions to understanding Nostradamus's prophecies. With a career spanning several decades, Cannon specialized in exploring the human subconscious and accessing memories of past lives through advanced hypnotherapy techniques. Her unique approach led her to discover surprising connections with historical figures and future events, including Nostradamus's prophecies. Canon developed an innovative methodology for accessing information stored in its customers' subconscious. Using deep hypnosis, he could lead his subjects into trance states in which they remembered precise details of their past lives. In the case of Nostradamus, he managed to contact, through one of his subjects, a historical figure who had supposedly been a disciple of the prophet, providing direct and unprecedented access to his methods and visions. His influential book series, Conversations with Nostradamus, is based on these hypnotic sessions. In these books, Canon details how, through hypnotic regression, his subjects could communicate with the spirit of Nostradamus. These dialogues revealed not only the process by which Nostradamus fulfilled his prophecies, but also new interpretations of his enigmatic quartets. Canon discovered that Nostradamus used a combination of astrology, numerology, and esoteric practices to formulate his predictions. According to the revelations obtained during the hypnosis sessions, Nostradamus entered deep meditative states that allowed him to receive visions of the future. In addition, Canon obtained information about how Nostradamus structured his quartets, mixing various languages and symbols to hide their true meanings from those who might use it for evil. Through his research, Canon was able to provide clearer and more comprehensible interpretations of Nostradamus's visions. His books disaggregate the quartets and offer explanations of how they relate to contemporary and future events. This includes predictions about natural disasters, political conflicts, and social change, helping readers connect prophecies with the historical and present context. Canon's contributions have had a long-lasting impact in the field of hypnotherapy and the study of prophecies. His work has inspired other researchers to use similar techniques to explore past lives and contact with historical figures. In addition, his books have popularized an accessible way of understanding and studying Nostradamus's prophecies, making his complex and often cryptic predictions more accessible to the general public. What distinguishes Canon is his focus on the connection between past lives and the present, offering a unique perspective on how past experiences can influence our understanding of the future. His research suggests that hypnosis techniques can access the knowledge and visions of historical figures like Nostradamus, creating new avenues for the study of history and prophecy. Nostradamus, one of the most famous prophets in history, had a vast academic background covering several languages and disciplines. His quartets, written in a mixture of Greek, Italian, Provençal, and Latin, reflect this erudition. This linguistic diversity not only demonstrates his deep knowledge of these languages, but it also adds a layer of complexity to his writings, making the interpretation of his prophecies a challenge. Nostradamus's use of multiple languages was a deliberate strategy to protect his predictions. Nostradamus prevented those with malicious intentions from easily understanding and manipulating his visions by codifying them into an amalgam of languages. This technique's ambiguity also served to keep the content of his writings safe, ensuring that only those with the appropriate knowledge could unravel their true meaning. The use of different languages in his prophecies enriches his interpretation enormously. Each language brings its own cultural and historical connotations, allowing a variety of readings and analyses. For example, a word in Latin could have a religious or philosophical interpretation, while in Greek it could suggest a more scientific or mythological context. This semantic wealth opens up a range of possibilities for understanding and applying Nostradamus's prophecies to different events and times. The interpretation of Nostradamus's prophecies is a task that requires a high degree of erudition and linguistic competence. Academics and scholars seeking to decipher their writings must have a profound knowledge of the languages used, as well as the implicit historical and cultural references. This has led to prophecies being the subject of interdisciplinary study, involving historians, linguists, literary experts, and other specialists. Prophecies, due to their multilingual nature, can undergo reinterpretation over time in response to historical events and contemporary contexts. Each generation can interpret the Nostradamus quartets in a fresh way, tailoring their interpretations to the current events. Prophecies remain relevant and alive in public and academic discourse due to their continuous reinterpretation. Due to the complexity and ambiguity inherent in Nostradamus's multilingual prophecies, contradictory interpretations often arise. This is because different scholars may focus on different linguistic or contextual aspects, leading to varying conclusions about the same passage. These discrepancies fuel academic and popular debate, instilling interest in prophecies and fostering new research and theories. Nostradamus also accurately predicted some of the most shocking historical events that occurred after his death. For example, the Great London Fire of 1666 was a monumental disaster that devastated the city. In one of his quartets, Nostradamus wrote about the city centre fire that will devour a large city, a description that many believe predicted this catastrophic event. This fire began at a bakery in Pudding Lane on the morning of September 2nd, 1666. Due to predominantly wooden construction and dry and windy weather conditions, the fire spread rapidly and became uncontrollable. The fire lasted 4 days, spreading rapidly and relentlessly. The fire's intensity was largely due to the narrow streets filled with wooden buildings that characterized London at the time. Initial attempts to control the fire were ineffective, and the flames continued to devour houses and public structures at an alarming rate. Weather conditions, including strong winds, contributed to the rapid spread of the fire, allowing the flames to jump from one building to another with ease. The Great Fire destroyed a vast area of London, including 87 churches, including the historic St. Paul's Cathedral, and about 13,200 homes, leaving about 70,000 of the 80,000 people living in the city at the time homeless. In addition to human and material losses, the fire also destroyed numerous public and commercial buildings, including the Royal Exchange, the Guildhall, and other landmarks. This disaster permanently transformed London, necessitating an almost complete rebuilding of the city. The loss of critical infrastructure and massive population displacement had significant economic and social repercussions for London and its inhabitants. The accuracy of Nostradamus's prophecy about the Great London Fire has been the subject of numerous studies and debates. Researchers and enthusiasts have analysed his writings, trying to figure out whether he really described this specific event or whether the interpretations are a retrospective coincidence. The quarter in question mentions the city centre fire, which some interpret as a clear reference to London. This prediction's apparent accuracy has led many to regard Nostradamus as a prophet with an astonishing ability to predict future events. Nostradamus also seems to have predicted the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. In his writings, there are references to a great city with a sword and a cloud of smoke, which many interpret as an allusion to the nuclear explosions that destroyed these Japanese cities at the end of World War II. Descriptions of heavenly fire and mass devastation seem to anticipate the impact of atomic bombs. Nostradamus, in his quartets, described images that evoked total and sudden destruction from the sky, a description that surprisingly aligns well with the nature of nuclear explosions. The bombs dropped on Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, and on Nagasaki on August 9, 1945, caused immediate and massive devastation, with a burning fire and a cloud of fungus rising to the sky, visual effects that could correspond to the metaphors used by Nostradamus. But his predictions included not only historical events, but also natural disasters. In his quartets, Nostradamus predicted numerous devastating earthquakes. In addition to the accuracy of his predictions of the 7.5 magnitude earthquake in Isawa, Japan, on January 1, 2024, his writings suggest the occurrence of earthquakes in various parts of the world, implying a constant global seismic threat. These earthquakes, according to Nostradamus, could devastate entire cities, destroying infrastructure and homes and forcing affected populations to seek refuge in safer places. Nostradamus quartets also include references to tsunamis, described as big waves that would cause mass destruction in coastal areas. An underwater earthquake can trigger a tsunami, which can devastate entire communities, as evidenced by recent historical events like the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami and the 2011 Tohoku tsunami. Nostradamus seemed to understand the devastating impact of these natural phenomena, predicting that they would cause loss of life, property destruction, and massive displacement of people, exacerbating humanitarian and economic crises in the affected regions. Nostradamus also predicted periods of extreme drought, which he described as times of water scarcity and crumbling crops. Droughts can have devastating effects on agriculture, leading to crop loss, cattle deaths, and food insecurity. In his writings, Nostradamus warned of the possibility of prolonged droughts that could trigger famine, forcing communities to abandon their lands in search of places with better access to water and resources. These massive migration movements could generate social tensions and conflicts over resources, altering the social and economic order. Volcanic eruptions are another type of natural disaster that Nostradamus mentioned in his prophecies. Nostradamus depicted events in which the mountain will burn and the sky will darken, conjuring images of erupting volcanoes releasing lava, ash, and toxic gases. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, which destroyed Pompeii, is a historic example of such devastation. More recently, the eruption of Mount Helena in 1980 showed how these events can have a catastrophic impact on the environment and nearby communities. Nostradamus predicted that such eruptions would cause not only immediate destruction of surrounding areas, but also adverse weather effects due to volcanic particles blocking sunlight. Nostradamus's perspective on natural disasters extended beyond mere physical devastation. He also predicted the social consequences of these events, including a massive population displacement. The devastation of their homes and lands would force people to migrate in search of shelter and resources. These migrations could destabilize entire regions, creating logistical, economic, and political challenges. Pressure on migrant receiving areas could increase social tensions, create conflicts over limited resources, and lead to significant changes in the demographic and economic structure of affected societies. Nostradamus's predictions of natural disasters reflect a deep understanding of how these events can affect humanity on multiple levels. From earthquakes and tsunamis to droughts and volcanic eruptions, his visions anticipated not only physical destruction, but also long-term social and economic consequences. These prophecies have led many to regard Nostradamus as a visionary, with a remarkable ability to predict the future, and they are still the subject of study and debate today. Likewise, he predicted significant economic changes that could occur in 2024. According to their predictions, these changes would affect not only the global economy, but also people's confidence in their leaders and the monetary system, leading to a desperate quest for stability and new forms of economic and social organization. Nostradamus predicted an economic crisis in which the value of money would decline drastically. This devaluation phenomenon could be caused by a variety of factors, including uncontrolled inflation, financial crises, and ineffective economic policies. The loss of value would mean that people would need more money to buy the same goods and services, which would erode their purchasing power and increase poverty and inequality. One of the most disturbing aspects of predictions is the loss of confidence in leaders. People often begin to question the competitiveness and honesty of their rulers in a context of devalued money and crumbling economies. Nostradamus predicted that this mistrust would intensify by 2024, leading to increased social discontent and possible uprisings or political changes. Lack of confidence could also drive populist movements and the search for alternative leaders that promise radical solutions to economic problems. The forecasts could also imply changes in global trade. Currency devaluation and economic instability could lead to a revaluation of supply chains and international trade relations. Countries that were formerly dependent on certain economies could seek to diversify their trading partners to mitigate risks and ensure the continuity of their industries. The devaluation of money, the loss of confidence in leaders, and the global quest for stability are topics that resonate with contemporary economic problems, highlighting the continuing relevance of Nostradamus's visions in the analysis of possible futures. Despite the diverse interpretations of these predictions, they continue to have a profound and provocative impact on our understanding of the economic and social future. Nostradamus predicted that by 2024, the health of Russian President Vladimir Putin would deteriorate considerably. This decline in the health of such an influential leader would not only affect Russia, but it would also have global repercussions. Putin has been a central figure in world politics for decades, and his leadership has shaped Russia's domestic and foreign policies significantly. Its potential weakening could generate uncertainty and fear, both domestically and internationally. Nostradamus's prediction does not stop with Putin's health. It also anticipates the arrival of a new leader in Russia. Interpretations in his writings suggest that an internal power struggle could mark this change in leadership. The new leader, described in the prophecies, could be a controversial and ambitious figure, emerging in a context of opportunism in the face of Putin's weakness. Internal conflicts and political destabilization may accompany this transition, ensuring it is not peaceful. A change in Russia's leadership, especially if it occurs abruptly or violently, could lead to significant instability both internally and externally. Within Russia, rival factions might emerge that contend for control of power, which could lead to a political and social crisis. Uncertainty about future leadership could generate a climate of mistrust and fear among the population and political leaders. Externally, countries that have strategic relations with Russia, whether of cooperation or opposition, could find themselves in an uncertain terrain. Given Russia's influence on gas and oil supplies, their security policies and energy strategies could particularly affect European nations. Furthermore, Russia's traditional allies, such as China and Iran, could reassess their alliances and strategies in response to changes in the Kremlin. In several of his quartets, Nostradamus uses cryptic and symbolic language that many interpret as references to the existence of extraterrestrial beings. Some have interpreted phrases like, "the heavens will open" and "the light will fall on earth" as references to encounters with entities from other worlds. Although these interpretations are speculative, they reflect the eternal fascination of the human being, with the possibility of not being alone in the universe. Nostradamus suggested that these beings from other planets not only exist, but may also be observing us. This idea of extraterrestrial surveillance suggests a continuing and benevolent scientific interest in the evolution and development of mankind. We are both astonished and anxious at the idea that advanced intelligences are watching us. Nostradamus's insinuations about extraterrestrial life raise important questions about the future of humanity. What implications might this observation have for our civilization? It could mean that there are other, more technologically advanced life forms that have managed to overcome the challenges we still face on Earth. This potential contact with extraterrestrial civilizations could revolutionize our understanding of the cosmos, technology, and the place of humanity in the universe. Recognition of extraterrestrial life would have a profound impact on human science and culture. The recognition of extraterrestrial life would force scientists from various disciplines to re-evaluate many of their theories and paradigms. New knowledge and perspectives would enrich and challenge fields such as astrobiology, physics, and philosophy. Culturally, the confirmation of extraterrestrial life could unite mankind, transcending borders and differences to face together the implications of such a discovery. We can also interpret Nostradamus's prophecies as a call to prepare for potential extraterrestrial contact. This scenario invites us to consider how we could respond to such an event, both from a technical and ethical point of view. The creation of protocols for contact, consideration of moral implications, and preparation of society for a possible encounter are crucial aspects to consider. Nostradamus's vision of extraterrestrial life has survived through the centuries, fueling imagination and debate. His writings continue to inspire those seeking to understand the mysteries of the universe and humanity's place in it. As the search for life on other planets advances, with modern space exploration and the development of advanced technologies, Nostradamus's prophecies resound as an echo of our eternal curiosity and aspiration to discover the unknown. Nostradamus's insinuations on the potential for extraterrestrial life open a door for reflection on our future and our position in the cosmos. The possibility of extraterrestrial beings observing Earth suggests a universe brimming with possibilities and mysteries awaiting discovery. This vision, although speculative, continues to inspire scientists, philosophers, and visionaries to explore and consider the vast implications of not being alone in the universe. Nostradamus hinted that by 2024, there would be renewed interest in spiritual and religious affairs around the world. This renewal may manifest itself as an increase in the search for meaning and purpose in life, as well as a greater commitment to spiritual and religious practices. A growing awareness of the importance of spirituality in everyday life could inspire people to explore various religious traditions and spiritual philosophies in search of guidance and consolation. His prophecies suggest that these spiritual changes could have a significant impact on established religious institutions, including the Catholic Church. Some speculate that the Church may undergo internal reforms to adapt to the evolving spiritual needs of modern society. These changes could manifest in greater openness to new theological interpretations, as well as a renewed focus on compassion, inclusion, and social justice. While spiritual renewal could bring with it numerous benefits, it could also pose challenges to established religious institutions. The Catholic Church, in particular, could face pressure to adapt to an ever-changing world while maintaining the integrity of its fundamental doctrine and teachings. However, these challenges could also present opportunities for innovation and growth, allowing the Church to respond more effectively to the spiritual needs of an evolving society. The spiritual and religious changes predicted by Nostradamus could have a significant impact on society as a whole. Increased attention to spiritual values could foster a culture of compassion, empathy, and solidarity, thereby promoting a more just and harmonious society. Furthermore, a renewed search for meaning and purpose in life could inspire people to reassess their priorities and find a greater sense of connection with others. Nostradamus's prophecies about spiritual and religious change in 2024 invite us to reflect on our own spiritual beliefs and practices, as well as on the role of religion in modern society. This period of spiritual renewal could be an opportunity to examine our deep convictions and explore new ways of connecting with the divine and transcendental. Simultaneously, the changing spiritual needs of an ever-changing society can challenge religious institutions to adapt and evolve. Ultimately, these prophecies remind us of the importance of spirituality in our lives and urge us to be open to the possibilities of growth and transformation in the spiritual and religious spheres. Nostradamus saw a year in which humanity would make a significant leap in terms of technological advances. Revolutionary discoveries in fields such as artificial intelligence, biotechnology, renewable energy, and space exploration could mark this period. Developments in these areas could have a transformative impact on the way we live, work, and relate to each other and the world around us. Prophecies also suggest that 2024 could see greater cooperation between nations and cultures. The need to address common challenges like climate change, poverty, public health, and international security could drive this increase in global collaboration. Solidarity and unity among countries could pave the way for innovative and sustainable solutions that benefit all of mankind. Nostradamus predicted that 2024 would be a year of emerging new opportunities in the digital world. The expansion of digital technology and global connectivity could open new doors in areas such as e-commerce, online education, remote healthcare, and digital entertainment. These opportunities could democratize access to information and resources, empowering individuals and communities around the world. While the technological and social advances interpreted by Nostradamus's predictions are exciting, they also raise important challenges and reflections. Rapid technological developments could raise concerns about privacy, cybersecurity, digital inequality, and the impact on employment and the global economy. It is crucial to address these challenges proactively and ethically to ensure that the benefits of technology are equitable and sustainable for all. Despite the challenges we face, Nostradamus's prophecies offer us hope and optimism for the future. They remind us that even in times of uncertainty, humanity has the potential to create a better world. By having a positive attitude and working together towards a common goal, we can build a future full of possibilities and opportunities for all. Nostradamus's prophecies offer us an optimistic vision of the future by highlighting humanity's potential to adapt, innovate, and collaborate in creating a more prosperous, just, and sustainable world. By embracing change and working together towards common goals, we can build a bright future for future generations. If you enjoy this content, I encourage you to like it and subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you will keep up to date with our future publications. Thank you for your continued support.